Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yesterday, we have seen the definition of research according to Clifford Woody, that research can be defined as, or it may comprises of defining and redefining the problems, formulating the hypothesis, and then developing some solutions for it. For that, we need to collect, organize, evaluate the data, make the deductions, and reaching the conclusions, and at last carefully test the conclusions to determine whether they fit the formulating hypothesis or not. This we have seen in a more descriptive way. We took 1 hour class for understanding the definition of research. I hope all of you received the descriptive way of defining the research definition. We discussed so many examples, and we simplified this definition and tried to understand the definition of research. Also, we differentiated the different terms like research, invention, and discovery. Hope everything is clear to all. Am I audible to all? Whether my voice is clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Smita, can you get voice clear now?
Sir, it's audible, but voice is not clear, sir.
I think there may be some network issues with you. Others, can you clearly listen my voice?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Smita, you find a place where you can get more network. Change the
Okay,
place
sir.
where you are sitting right now. Okay.
Okay,
Fine.
sir.
Then we'll go to the next slide, which is about the objectives of research. Research is having some objectives or goals. Why do we need this research? Either to solve a problem or to encash the problems. There will be some goals or aims or objectives behind it. What are the objectives of research? Let's see. To gain familiarity with a phenomenon or to achieve new insights into it. Studies with this objective in view are termed as exploratory research studies. There are different kind of researches. You can see analytical research, empirical research, secondary data analysis research, likewise qualitative research, quantitative research. Different kind of researches are uh, practiced or used by so many people for solving or for addressing some problems that we will see further. Before to that, what are the objectives of research? We'll see. The first objective is to gain familiarity with a phenomenon or to achieve new insights into it. The basic objective of a research is to gain or get familiarity with a phenomenon or to achieve new insights into it. Whenever we see the new things or whenever the new situation arises, in those situations, we feel that we need a little more information so that we can understand the situation, or we can be familiar with a phenomenon which occurs. I can take the example of GST, which was effectively implemented last 3-4 years back, when the GST was imposed on the businessmen. That time, most of the businessmen were in a confusion and they were not aware about this goods and services tax, which was a new concept, and what are these slabs and how the filing should be done and how the billing should be done. There were so many queries, or there were so many uh, questions arises in the minds of the businessman. That time they wanted to get familiarity with this new phenomenon, and they undergone so many training programs or coachings, or sometimes they discussed with the chartered accountants, or sometimes they discussed with their accountants, and sometimes they also watched the news as well as listened to the radios and read some newspapers, magazines. Even some of them they referred this income tax book also. When a person feels to get more and more requirement of the information, or to understand or to become familiar with the phenomena, and also to achieve new insights into it. Uh, After understanding the GST or becoming familiar with the GST, they wanted to achieve some new insights into it, so that in coming years or maybe in coming days, how they should be prepared themselves to face it. That's what that was the major objective behind becoming familiarity. Studies with this object in view are termed as exploratory research studies. So, whenever a person involved or participate in this kind of a research is called as exploratory research. Another example I would like to use here is uh, the researchers. Something like some of you wanted to know that how many customers have shifted from traditional payment method to online payment method. Uh, Earlier, we were paying the money, hard cash money to the business, or maybe for any purchases. But now, due to this pandemic, as well as lockdown, as well as ease of payment, what we call it as, made us to go for online payment. So now we wanted to know how many people shifted from traditional payment to online payment. For that reason, we can't ask each and everybody that which mode of payment that you are using. That too in a country like India, where the population is 132 crores, and it's very difficult for us to contact each and everybody and have a chat or conversation with everyone, so that we can collect the information. That's what we do is we will start searching information for it, either in the internet, or maybe we visit some websites, the government department websites, or we may read some newspapers, magazines, journals, and other sources of information, where we feel that yes, there is a drastic change in payment mode from physical payment or traditional payment to online payment. Uh, this is called exploratory research study, because we are using secondary data sources. We are not going for any primary data sources. The data sources which are available already, that we visit or that we approach and collect the information from those sources, and get familiarity about that new phenomenon, and we'll get new insights that when there is, let us assume that there is a 35 percentage increase in online payment method, then you will get new insights into it, that India is developing and we are also adjusting with the modern payment methods, and it's a good thing which can avoid the fake currencies, as well as the uh, what you call black money, that can be reduced if we go for online payment method. These are the new insights that you will get, and you may think of going for a new business, or you may think of going for new services that you can avail for the customers to go for online payment. Something like you have a gateways or merchant bankings that you are all aware, which acts as a mediator between the customer and the banks, and they will pay the money to the third party and receive the money from client's bank account. In this way, they render the uh, financial services to the people. Now, when there is a increase in online payment, then definitely there is a new opportunity for starting a business of merchant banking. It requires a lot of money and it requires a lot of resources, but that new insight you will get by studying this. So this is called exploratory research study. And the second example I would like to quote here for exploratory research study is when you refer the historical data which is available with the statistical department of India, maybe related to population, maybe related to economics, or maybe related to socio-cultural developments, obtain all that information and start doing analysis, you will get beautiful inferences or results. Based upon that results, you can draw some conclusions and you will get some new insights into it. As if you go for gender ratio, there is a satisfactory ratio that we are finding, say for 1,000 men, 972 women are there in India. That's a good sign that the gender discrimination is coming down as compared to the last decade, where for 1,000 men, less than 700 or 800 women were there. Now, due to the education, due to the literacy, people are also getting aware, and there is no gender discrimination we are finding right now. Here and there, it is exist, but as compared to the past, it's far better. So this is the one insight that I got from the uh, exploratory research study. And some academicians write the articles, research articles, purely based upon the secondary data sources, which are called as exploratory research studies, where they will be referring some online journals or the physical journals, databases, newspapers, magazines, and collect the various articles, read them, and write it them in their own words, and do the literature review. Based upon that, they will start commenting on those studies, and there will be discussions, and finally they will conclude whatever they feel. That means they're getting new insights about that phenomena. So this is all about exploratory research study, where it aims at getting the information from secondary data sources, purely secondary data sources, for the purpose of gaining the familiarity with the phenomena and to achieve new insights into it. Hope all of you are following. Any questions or any doubts regarding to this first objective, that is gaining gaining new insights and familiarity with the phenomena. Please switch on your mic and let me know any questions or doubts are there. Yes, Sanjana, Ankush, Arvind, Atmika, Gurama, Kaushik, Mazar, Manju, Manjunath, Pawan, Pushpa, Rashmi Gunal, Rashmi Shirur. If you have any questions, Praful, hope all of you are
No
following.
doubt. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Smita, Vijeta, Vaishnavi, Saurabh, Soumya Sri, Soumya, Saubhagya, Rekha. Hope I am not going too technical. Words are digestible, what I feel. Rangnath.
Yes, sir.
Fine, then we'll go to the second objective of research, and this objective is to portray accurately the characteristics of a particular individual, situation, or a group. Studies with this object in view are known as descriptive research studies. So in exploratory research studies, we will not go in depth, or we will not uh, test it much We just gather the information, analyze it, and comment on it. That's it. Whereas the second objective of a research is to portray accurately the characteristics of a particular individual, situation, or a group. And these kind of researches are called as descriptive researches. Descriptive researches are usually includes the in-depth analysis, collection of data, using of statistical tools to analyze and interpret the information which we collect from the study, then setting up of hypothesis testing, later uh, writing the suggestions or recommendations for it, and also concluding the research with what happened, what is happening, and what may happen in future. So these three parts you will see in the conclusion division of the research. To portray accurately the characteristics of a particular individual. Here in this research, the researcher usually for an individual or maybe a situation or for a group, they will portray accurately the characteristics. In scientific research, when there is a study goes on viruses or bacteria or funguses, they will use all kind of laboratory techniques. They will take the readings, they will use the dimensions, they will measure, they will weigh, and they will observe the movements, and they take down all that information. Based upon that, they will accurately they will specify the characteristics of particular individual. Right now, as we all are aware, we are into the second wave of this corona pandemic. When this second wave started, most of the before starting of the second wave, most of the scientists cautioned the government as well as the public that there is a new strain uh, to born, and it will be more dangerous than the earlier COVID-19. So everybody should be very careful. That was the caution that they have given. I think you do remember in the month of February and March, also I told you that the new strain is coming. We don't know when it will hit very badly, and the words came true. That I'm not a god here. I watched news channels as well as read here and there, and based upon that, I made those comments. Uh, they collected samples from these corona affected people and started studying those viruses, which is called as virology. When they studied, they came to know about the virus, that the virus is getting mutant andra ರೂಪಾಂತರಗೊಳ್ಳೋದು. How it gets get mutant? It eats the protein from the human being bodies and gets mutant. It gets transferred, becomes very stronger. The new strain that we found. So, for calling it as a new strain, or the developments or the changes, modifications which took place in the virus from the last wave to this wave, the continuous study was going on in various laboratories, and scientists came to know that the new variants or new strain has arrived. So they went for descriptive research design, where they accurately specified the new variant or the new strain's characteristics. They told it's very strong, and the transformation of virus takes very quick. That's what we found. nearly 50,000 cases in the month of April and now it is coming down. That's other thing. Suddenly 50,000 cases means how come it happens? Though it is a contingent disease, but in the last wave, the spreading of disease was not this much rigorous as we have seen in this wave. It's all because of that mutant virus or the new strain. So it's not easy to comment like this that new strain came and it is having characteristics like this. To express or to state like this, the scientist needs lot of evidences, proofs, as well as studies that can show that yes, the new mutant or new strain took birth and it is like this. So this is a scientific research where the descriptive research study you have seen in social sciences. Uh, researchers also conducts various researches. Please mute yourself. Fine. So in social science also you can find a lot of descriptive research studies where the researcher will go in depth and analyze each and everything. The best examples are stock market analysis. Uh, some financial experts, they will collect huge data, past data as well as real time data, and they will use some statistical tools to analyze it. And some of them will be observing or studying one script of a company or maybe one company for a longer period of time, and thereby they will identify the behavior of that script, and later they will comment on it that this company scripts acted like this, it went up on uh, in the month of April or May, and it came down in the month of November and December, where the crude oil prices were high or gold and silver prices were high, where the economic crisis was going on, where the price of um, necessary items came down. That time, this script did well. So a continuous study about an individual or maybe about a situation or a group and accurately specifying the characteristics of it is called as descriptive research study. I would like to take one more example here. Let's take the example of sales and advertisement. I will take the advertisements first, and later we'll see the sales. All of us know that advertisements will definitely yield the sales for the organization. If you use the advertisement, that will influence the people, and people may come for purchasing your product. That all of us know. That's quite common, and that's a general knowledge. But the real sense is how many advertisements that we need to broadcast or stream in the television, and in what should be the timing, and what should be the size of our advertisement, what should be the content of our advertisement, what should be the message that we should go for it, and who are our target customers, and how to target the untapped market, and how to retain the existing customers, how to make the other companies customers to switch to our companies. So these are several issues involved in it for taking a decision about an advertisement. So companies will have their own advertising agency, or sometimes they outsource the advertisement work to some ad agencies which are available throughout the world, and they will provide a lot of information to the ad agencies regarding their company, regarding their products, regarding their employees, regarding their goodwill, or their entire journey of business they will provide, and these advertisers will collect the information about the market. will collect the information about the customer, profile of the country, competitors, government's rules and regulations, trends, socio-cultural developments. All this information they will collect, and based upon that, they will go for developing the advertisement. So this kind of a study includes in-depth analysis of the situation, and when the company is able to do it or the agencies do it, then we call it as descriptive research study. Hope all of you followed this descriptive research study.
Yes, sir.
Any questions or any doubts on it?
No, sir.
And then we'll go to the third objective, that is to determine the frequency with which something occurs or with which it is associated with something else. Studies with this objective in view are known as diagnostic research studies. There are some other researches which are called as diagnostic research studies. Let's see what are those research studies and what are their characteristics in one or two lines. The frequency with which something occurs or with which it is associated with something else. This is nothing but finding the rate at which something occurs or with which it is associated with something else. Diagnostic research study. Usually in science, they wanted to know uh, which are the factors influences a particular object, at what rate the factors influences the object, and at what rate the object gets changed or gets respond to those factors is called as diagnostic research. Here I would like to take the example of any disease you can take here. The doctors will collect the information, the entire history of the patient, and record it in their sheets and go on observing each and every day. Based upon that, they will come to know that which drug or which tablet or maybe the medicine uh, is working effectively and the patient is responding positively to it, and which drug or the medicine is not working and adversely affecting the patient, that they will come to know in 1 or 2 days based upon the response of the patient. That is called as a diagnostic research study. Usually the clinical tests, the trials are the best examples for knowing the frequency with which something occurs or with which it is associated with something else. So this is the diagnostic research more related to the scientific field. And in social science, we use this diagnostic research study, but there are limitations for using it as we don't have well-defined factors and which are uncontrollable most of the times in the social science as they belongs to the external environment. Whereas in science, they will have an isolated system where they can control the different variables or the factors to know the impact of those factors on a particular objective. Fine. So this is a diagnostic research study. Any questions or anything you would like to ask related to it? Hope all of you are following it.
Yes, sir.
So
Fine.
once again, explanation.
Once again. Okay, diagnostic research study, as the name itself says, diagnosing means going for investigation about an object how it gets influenced by the external forces under the controlled conditions, and which are those factors, at what rate they influence, and at what rate it gets changes, is called as diagnostic research study. Hope you followed, Saubhagya. Is it Saubhagya who asked?
Sir,
Have you followed
Vaishnavi.
it? Vaishnavi, have you followed it?
Yes, sir.
It is something like, say, for example, water. You take the water and you keep it in a freezer. After 10 minutes, you will go and open the freezer and you will see ice in that bowl in which you kept the water. How it became water? It became water. Sorry, how it became ice? It became ice because you kept it inside the fridge, and at that temperature, the water got ice. The same water, if you keep it on stove and boil it, it will disappear in the form of vapors. Why it is so? It is because you heated the water and water got highest temperature and got vaporized. Whereas if you keep it in a room temperature of 30 degrees centigrade, nothing will happen to water. Water will remain same. It will not be hot, it will not be cold, and it will not disappear or it will not change its shape. So now the object is water. If you place it in a different situation, how it reacts. Got my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In the same way, in even in social science also, if you change the packaging of the product, say if you are maintaining one package from last 30 years or 40 years, and you felt that somewhere that the customers are boredom with the old kind of a packaging, let me change the packaging and see the reactions of the customers. You will not do it suddenly. You will get collect a lot of information. You will generate information from various sources, and later you decide to go for it. And when you change the package and see the response, there will be a change in the response from the customer side. So that is diagnostic research, you can call it as. And then the fourth one, to test hypothesis of a causal relationship between variables. Such studies are known as hypothesis testing research studies. Hypothesis, as I told you, it's an assumption about the population, and you will assume something about the population based upon some historical data, past data, evidences, proofs, and lot of information. Based upon that, you will assume something about it, and now you wanted to test whether your statement is true or false. And later also you will collect the information and test it. If it falls under the critical reason, you will accept it, or else you will reject it. Fine. So that is hypothesis testing. Here, the objective of this kind of a research is to test the causal relationship between the variables. In a research, you will find three kinds of variables. One is dependent variable, another is independent variable, and third one is extraneous variables. These are the three variables that you use whenever you are into causal relationship or causal research design. What is this causal relationship? Causal research. Causal research is developing the relationship between two variables, thereby recognizing the relationship between these two variables. And usually the two variables will be, one is dependent variable and another is independent variable. So this fourth point we will discuss tomorrow, as the time is less than 2 minutes, and we will close here. Tomorrow we'll discuss with the fourth point of this objectives of research, and we'll go for characteristics of good research also tomorrow. So with this, I will wind up, and still any doubts or questions are there related to these three objectives of research, you can ask. Please switch on your mic and let me know any questions, doubts, or anything else. Yes, Saurabh. Following Saurabh,
Yes, sir. Following.
Arvind, Mazhar,
Following, sir.
Ashwini, Anjana, Soumyasri, Saubhagya, Savita, Guramma, Kaushik.
Yes, sir.
Following, sir.
Following, sir.
Following, sir.